Okay, now from markets on to corporates, and Rajiv Agarwal, MD and CEO of Essar Ports, joins us right now on the show to speak about the numbers. But I think the larger picture to get from Rajiv would be how does he expect to see the infra and the port scenario over the course of the next 5 years. Rajiv, I think thanks for joining in Neeraj here. I think everybody is now talking of the next 5 years. So before we before we talk about the next 5 years, just give us a glimpse of how your quarter was and how do you expect the next couple of quarters to be like.
Well, I think this quarter was quite good. As earlier quarters, we had a top line of about 400 crores and a net profit of about 90 or 91 crores. For the year, we had total income of about 1637 crores and a profit of 383 crores and EBITDA of 1327 crores. So I think I'm very satisfied with what we have delivered. We have a lot of new growth which is expected in the next 2 to 3 years, because we have projects which are under construction which will roll out during this year and the next year and the next year. So next 3 years we are going to go up from about 104 million tons currently to about 190 million tons, and the volume is also expected to go up, and all of it probably at the right time. The economy is also going to do well. It's looking good with the new government coming in. We expect good times ahead.
Mr. Agarwal, but looking at your numbers, and I'm just comparing it to your peers, in terms of top line growth, it's been rather muted. Margins have not really expanded that much, and your profits are down by close to 1%. Can you take us through when we can see a turnaround in the overall performance, and what really drove this muted performance?
No, I don't agree with you, because I think we have a 16% growth in the top line and a 16% growth in the bottom line, and our margins are the highest in the industry. At 81% EBITDA margins, you can't do anything more, because you can't do 100% EBITDA margins. So 81%, and we maintained it. I think last year also, I think probably we are a percentage higher than last year. So I think in terms of margins, we're very satisfied. We don't expect margins to go up. In fact, in times to come, the margins can go down to 75% in terms of EBITDA, because some of the new projects are going to be having revenue share which is slightly high, but it doesn't mean that the top line and the bottom line will go up. So I think as far as the margins are concerned, they were quite good. Top line, of course, 16% growth. It could one could argue that it could be 20, 25, 30%, but I think looking at the markets that we were in and any new capacities didn't come in this period, so we had about 16% increase in top line and the bottom line, which is in my view quite good. Going forwards, next year, of course, we expect that the volumes are going to be higher, and we expect growth to be there, because we have new projects also coming in, existing projects also, the capacity utilization is likely to go up.
And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. You've got the regulatory go-ahead for 4 port projects that was stuck for several years with some clearances, and we understand 3,000 crores is what you're going to invest. When can we see you reaping the benefits of the same, and the timeline?
See, in the coming year, we are expecting one project which is in Visakhapatnam, which we recently got. It's an operating project, so that will get started. And by the end of this fiscal, by March or April 2015, we are expecting another project which is in Salaya, which is a coal terminal, will also get started. So these 2 projects we expect during this year. Apart from that, and the capex which we are likely to do in this year is about 1200 crores, 300 crores of equity and 900 crores of additional debt. These projects will start giving in money from the day one, because both the projects, the Vizag project is already doing about 12 to 14 million tons of 12 million tons of cargo was handled at Vizag last year. So we expect that this year we will do about 14 million tons. Apart from that, in Salaya also already the power plant which is going to offtake the
Rajiv, please allow me to interrupt you out there. Only doing this because we are running completely short of time. I just have one small question. If you indeed believe that times are going to look good for the next 12 months, This quarter was a flat quarter for you, top line and bottom line. What's the kind of growth for the year as a whole do you believe you will show for FY15 over FY14?
Well, FY14 to FY15, we are expecting, in terms of cargo, we are expecting a growth of about 15%. And I think same would be reflected in the top line and the bottom line. So that's what our projection for the next year. Because some of these projects which have got clearance now will take about 2 years to get started. So we have growth coming in all the 3 years, next 3 years, and as far as the immediate next year is concerned, we are expecting a 15 to 20% growth.
Okay, Mr. Agarwal, thanks so much for joining in and giving us a view on what the coming year is going to look like for the company. A fairly optimistic picture. The stock is also holding up smartly. But we're completely timed out on this jam-packed session of Market Sense.
It's 5% for the CNX small cap, 3% for the CNX mid cap, and almost a circuit for the top 10 movers on the CNX 500.
You're having a field day.
It's an awesome day of trade. I think Nikunj and Arsha will take it forward on markets at lunch. 1% higher for the Nifty as well. I think we are trading very close to the highest point of the day. Stay tuned to 18 hours. Thanks so much for watching Market Sense.